And so, like, am I correct in saying that kind of this approach kind of helps to find solutions in stressful situations, and especially like on the business side of things, kind of expand the number of options available to solve a solution?
Absolutely. If you want to invest in the stock market, for example, you want to know the maximum you could about the company that you are investing in. If you have only one information, it went up, it went down, then you're likely just to be playing a kind of a game on the casino maybe, or a chance game. But if you know the company's profits and losses, if you know the demands on the products, if you know what the future is requiring, how people are moving in the market, if it's a good time, you know so many other things, the interest rates, the banking and the finance and all of that, the more you know, the better you are able to make the right decision, not just the stock market, but certainly if you're creating a company. And as you say, if there are potential tigers around and the competition and all these possibilities, the more you know, the better it is. And if you focus only on one factor because you get stressed by it, you lose the ability to actually make decisions. So in business, you're not only just putting your money somewhere, you're actually either running a company or making decisions of investments in other big companies and all of that. And there you really want to find solutions, how to inspire the workers, how to advertise your product, how to this and that, and how to overcome difficulties that happen. So what you need is actually the ability to focus on specifics, but with broad comprehension. If you don't have the broad comprehension, as you beautifully summarized and expressed, you cannot see solutions that are beyond the immediate concerns of the problem you are facing. Sometimes we have to find what we can call the second element or the third element, if you like. So there are two elements or something happening, and you have to think creatively. You have to think. And for this, what you need, actually, in simple terms, you need your brain, you need your awareness, you need yourself. And if you're stressed, your brain is not available to you. The brain, and this, what we're saying, is scientifically studied. When we did transcendental meditation studies, we have found that, and many scientists have done it independently in different institutions, that, for example, the blood flow to the executive part of the brain, which is the frontal and prefrontal cortex, increases during transcendental meditation. So this is where anticipation of the future happens. This is where the abilities to think far happens and not to be, stressed and focus on, as we say, the fight or flight response. Whereas in the stress, this part does not receive the proper blood flow and it's not working completely well. And the blood flow goes more to the actual inner parts of the brain that deal with the stress response and fight and flight response. So it's a physical thing also. And we have found also that there is higher connectedness between the right side, left side of the brain, front and back, which shows greater integration and brain functioning. So if we bring this back to the business side, suppose you have an artificial intelligence computer or something, or you have a great computer which has millions of processors. And these processors, if they work separately and they're not in tune with each other, they cannot perform in the same way as if they were able to work separately, but in coordination with each other, in harmony with each other, and therefore attend to the problem at hand from different angles, from different perspectives. The nervous system is like this. It is millions of processors, actually, with different parts acting to assess this, the color, the time, the space, the past, the present, the future, the memories, the potential possibilities. And we use only a small percentage of that brain, of that possibility. And many of the reserves of the brain remain unused. So in transcendental meditation, also we have seen great coherence between different parts of the brain. And scientists have even said that it leads to an increased use of the reserves of the brain. So this is where it's very important to be able to transcend so that you can see things from a distance. And many top executives, of course, they say that in order to run a company, the chairman or the CEO has to take a little bit of a distance from the small things. They have to see the things, but they have to be able to watch it from like an overview perspective and have all the elements under their understanding and their control. And that is what transcending means. It doesn't mean running away and not being involved with the details. It means being able to focus even more sharply, but keeping that broad comprehension.
It seems like this should almost be part of every leadership training program, right? Because it seems like, people spend their whole careers accumulating skills and experience and kind of trying to be the best version of themselves and trying to get to that next level, the next promotion, the next revenue target or whatever else it is, right? And it comes to a point where your day becomes full, yeah? And that kind of happens pretty early on, like in a person's leadership experience, right? But over time, over 5-10 years, the fullness, that space that is left over to think about the future becomes extremely small, right? And so it seems like this is one of the only ways to really, through, what everybody had to go through last year, like in this year, there's there's stress in the world, then there's stress in business, and then there's the importance of making the right decisions at the right time, the right resources and the right information while still operating a whole organization and all the challenges around that. So it does seem to be that this is a very good way in to providing yourself space, right? And to be able to think, right? Because it's really hard to do it, just go, okay, now just relax, that seems to be very hard, right? But it is in those times. And so there's a lot of different parts I want to go to here, but I just wanted to make that statement because I definitely appreciate that last comment that you made. But before I get to the next one, a quick question. This is a quick side note, right? Because the first time I heard about Transcendental Meditation was because Oprah was doing it, right? And then I had a look around and there's all these celebrities that are doing it. Why has Transcendental Meditation kind of become so famous through people like Oprah?
Well, because these are people that are true seekers of how to help society, Many are seen, as being just celebrities and, they kind of mind their own businesses and how to this. But they are creative people and they want to contribute to the betterment of society and human life. And so when they find something that is precious and help them, they really want people to know. So it's out of totally genuine need and desire to help. None of them, absolutely none, actually makes any benefit. They just use their time and their energy to spread it out and make it known, as we all do, even in our programs, as we do it. So when you see that, and that ties back to what you just even beautifully said and summarized, and that is, we can call the container of knowledge, the container of experience. What we have today in education and in business and all that is focus on information. Even in education, you take the students, you give them information, they have to remember it, and at the end of the year, they have to put it on a piece of paper or some exam, and then, they pass. But nobody concentrates usually on the expansion of the container of knowledge, which is the student or the executive or the business person themselves. because they don't know how to do it. There has been no means to expand the container of knowledge. We imagine somebody has this potential and that's it. And with this potential, you try to do whatever you can. The technology that is presented through the Transcendental Meditation program is to expand the container of knowledge so that, of course, knowledge is important, information is important, but how much water can you put in a small glass versus, a pool, swimming pool, or a lake, or the ocean? So we are the ocean. We are the ocean of consciousness. That's why the book is called One Unbounded Ocean of Consciousness, because we truly are the ocean of consciousness, and we can experience that. And the result is manifold, not only experiencing inner silence and peace and happiness, which is very fundamental and very, very beautiful, but also productivity is more, the ability to do more in the outside. So there is this inner development in the direction of greater bliss, greater happiness, greater peace, greater harmony with oneself and the environment, and at the same time, the ability to be productive, to be creative, to achieve things in a way that keeps us healthy, and there is no burnout. Now we're doing large studies in hospitals in the United States, many big hospitals, on physicians' burnout. And we are seeing some tremendous results where they regain good sleep quality, less anxiety, less depression, because as you mentioned, we've been through this period of difficulty and time, as we of course all know. And the physicians, the doctors, the nurses, the hospital staff have really seen something which is dramatic and stressful. And they are the first ones who kind of are taking this brunt of the hitting of the side effects, on some way of the pandemic. And so this ability to release stress, to rest, and to broaden one's awareness, and to be refreshed, and ability to do more and help others more has been also part of the beautiful results that this program brings. And that's why celebrities who want the well-being of others promote it.